Hello everyone. Today I'll walk you through the interactive setup utility of configuring Campus Fabric. Interactive setup is a faster and easier way of configuring Campus Fabric as it minimizes the CLI usage. The two things to be taken care of in interactive setup is enabling the control bridge or 802.1br mode and configuring the SPX port. All the configuration is taken care of on the CB console. Once we run interactive setup utility, CB will take care of detecting the PE topology down from the SPX port. As shown from this illustration, we will configure port number 3128 as the SPX port. One differentiating factor between interactive setup and ZTP is that interactive setup helps us identify invalid topologies. As shown from this illustration, the switch number 1 connecting port 123 to port 123 of switch number 3 is forming a PE ring, which is an invalid topology for Campus Fabric. We will see while doing our setup that how interactive setup helps us break one of these links to form a valid PE topology down from the SPX port. So we'll begin by entering the configuration mode. The first step we do is we configure the CB or the 802.1br mode using SPX CB enable command. Second, we enter the configuration mode using the command SPX CB configure and configure our port 3128 as the SPX port. Once we configure our SPX port, we'll go back to our privileged mode and use the command SPX interactive setup. Now we can see we have few options. The option number 0 is if we want to quit our interactive setup utility. Option number 1 if we want to change the PE IDs for existing PE chains or PE ring. Second, if we want to discover and convert new PEs. And third, if we want to discover and convert existing PEs. I'll go and select option number 3 to show you how we can convert switches with existing configuration to become PE units. So as you can see, and you can verify from the topology I showed you on the previous slide, that port number 3128 is connecting to 3 PE units, and the unit number 1 and unit number 3 had interconnecting links, thereby forming an invalid PE topology. So in this case, I'll go and identify my topology. Now interactive setup gives me an option of breaking the links. By default, the option is 0, that is, it would not remove any of the links. And then we have two options, option number 1 and option number 2, identifying what links we want to remove. I'll go and select option number 1. Now this is the topology that will come up after I delete my option number 1 link. So now interactive setup is giving me an option of configuring the PE IDs. By default, the selected PE ID would be 17, but I can configure a PE ID of my choice. So I'll enter number 21. Second, it took a default of 22 since I entered 21, so I'll choose 21 and then 23. So this is how my PE IDs would look after I select my PE IDs. I'll hit enter. A reload has been sent to my connected PE units for them to come up with PE functionality. So once my units are up and running, I can go ahead and execute the command show SPX and check the output of my campus string topology. As you guys remember, we had configured port number 3128, which had PE units hanging off from it, and we configured PE IDs 21, 22 and 23 when we are running our interactive setup utility. Second, we can go and check the command show running config and use include SPX to filter out only SPX configuration from the running config. As you guys can see, we have configuration related to all the units, that is SPX unit 21, 22, 23. and we can see we have the spxcb enable command for enabling control bridge functionality, and the spx port command for configuring the spx port 3128 as the spx or fabric port. Just to revise through, this is the SPX topology we just configured using interactive setup. As you guys can see, we have a stack of 4 ICX 7750s which have the CB or 802.1 VR mode enabled on them. Then we configured port 3128 as the SPX or fabric ports with PE units hanging off from them. Then we configured 3 PE IDs 21, 22 and 23, which interactive setup utility gave us as an option while we were going through the steps of configuring this campus fabric. Thank you so much for watching this.